I remember that a month ago, at the local airport, which is located in our village, there was a event where they would showcase all the different planes and helicopters that they had in there. Now keep in mind, it is not a public airport, like you can just fly wherever you want. No, it is a small private airport. Basically, there are these like rich dudes from like the capital city who happen to own these planes. And so they drove it to our village and to the airport, and now they just go in there whenever they want to just fly it around just for fun. And so, of course, news got around through the entire village that this event was taking place. Because something like this happens only once in a couple of years. So it was a really big event when you think about it. I think that the last time I was there, I was probably like 5 years old or something. So it was nice to go back to that event 12 years later to see how things would change. And by the way, it wasn't me who pitched the idea to my friend group. One of my male friends with whom I go to the gym, he asked all of us if we should go. And three of us out of five said that, yeah, sure, we could go. Why not? It was not even that long. Now keep in mind, the airport isn't located, of course, in the center of our village. It is like probably like in the forest area, which is probably like 1 kilometer away from like the main center of our village. But that was okay because we decided to meet each other at a local playground in our village. And from there, we would do the entire walk all the way to the airport, which was like 3 kilometers away, which is not even that long. We got there in like 35 minutes by foot. And so, if you create an event and you set a specific time, you can expect me to show up 20 minutes before anyone does. That's just how I am. And so, when we set an specific time where we would meet up at the playground, I was there like 30 minutes earlier than I was supposed to. And so, I sat on the bench and I had a look around. And the nostalgia trip that I went onto was just completely insane. I looked to my left and I saw the seesaws that I used to swing myself on. Bro, I still remember the memories. I still remember the thoughts that I was thinking back then on the seesaw because it was like the trampoline of the playground for me. It was just so good for expanding my thoughts. Like if I was jumping on my trampoline, it was on that high level. And so I naturally just really liked it. And it was my first option whenever I went to the playground as a younger kid. Then I turned my head a little bit to the right and I saw the slide. That was never really one of my favorites, but when I was like 6 years old, I used to constantly slide on it whenever I was at the playground. Of course, then turning my head a little bit more to the right. Sand area, where little children build sand castles. Yeah, me personally, I was never really into that kind of stuff, so I don't have much memories with that sand area. Moving on a little bit to the right, and we have the classic monkey climb wall. Basically, where you have those like hollowed out areas on the wall. And then you also have the rocks that you need to like grab upon and you need to place your feet to the empty area so that you can climb the entire wall all the way to the top. Yeah. When I was like 10 years younger, I was scared the fuck out of that wall. I just didn't want to approach it at all. And now, as I was sitting there, I was almost the exact same height as the wall itself. I think that it is like 2.5 meters tall. I don't remember the exact number, but it was somewhere in that range. And then I turned my head all the way to the right, and thus ending my analyzation of the entire playground. And I saw, for me, even more nostalgic toy than the swing all the way in the left, I saw this attraction that we called a little horse. Basically, you would sit on it, and it had the shape of a little horse head, and with its back. And you would sit on its back, and the feet were connected to this like spring, which when you would push yourself forward, the spring would swing you backwards. I'm gonna put an image on the screen so that you can visualize it better. But I remember spending so many hours on that little attraction itself. Possibly the same amount of times that I used to spend on that seesaw all the way in the beginning. And this playground, it has been a huge part of my life ever since I was born. Because in the first place, it was probably like I don't know, 700 meters away from my house, so I could get there anytime when I wanted. And plus, it was really fun to be in there as a little child. Possibly when you were younger than like 12 years old, you could still find so many opportunities to play in there. And I got such a huge nostalgia backlash, like the amount of memories that I got just by sitting there at the bench just made me realize how much I fucking loved self improvement. Because you see, looking at those toys and those attractions, like the seesaw and the little horse, it made me realize something. It gave me back the sense of comfort that I felt when I was a little child. Like mommy is supposed to do anything for you. She she cooks for you, she cleans for you, she buys the food. You have no responsibility, and so you can just play whenever you want. But you see, I'm a person who has a really old soul, meaning that ever since I was a young child, I just authentically felt like an adult. I never was really into pointless entertainment like gossiping and stuff like that. Like, yeah, sure, from time to time I would listen to it, but like just laughing because of nothing, yeah, that wasn't really for me. I was into serious topics. I liked history. I liked to learn about the universe, for example. Like, yeah, sure, granted, I was still a little child, so I still had a lot of fun on those attractions. But as I was, in the motion of swinging on the seesaw, for example, or if I was in the backlash motion of the little horse, like the spring was swinging me the opposite direction when I was going, from front to back and back again. As I was in those motions, and whenever I was jumping on my trampoline, I wouldn't use it to laugh pointlessly and to basically say, like, oh, hey, this is a lot of fun. Everybody look at me, how cute I am. No, I would use it to expand my creativity, to enhance the thoughts that I was getting. So, yeah, since I was a little child, I have been really serious through my entire life. And you see, this made me really hard to get along with the people around me, to be compatible with them. You see, whenever I was playing a video game like CSGO, for example, I didn't really much enjoy it. I was just playing it because my classmates were playing it. And I still remember all of those thousands of hours that I spent watching YouTube videos where I could have helped my mom, for example, or my grandmother. And yeah, and that was the thing that got me onto self improvement. It was that I could provide some kind of value to the outside world and not be this little useless child anymore, which was just indulging in instant pleasure. Like, for example, just playing around while the adults were watching us, or, just indulging bad habits whilst everyone was telling us that they were bad for us, but our parents suffering at our expense because we were in puberty and we started eating way too much. I hope I'm making some kind of sense now because, yeah, this topic is really hard for me to explain. Like the complex emotions that I felt at that playground just cannot be covered in like a 15-minute YouTube video that you see on our channel. It literally needs to deserve like an hour-long lecture because it's just that complex and hard to explain. But basically, know that the reason why I got into self improvement was that I wanted to be beneficial to the people around me. Like, yeah, sure, I was already providing them with the security that I was a gifted child because ever since I was a little kid, I was really good at studying and learning about. And whenever I tried to learn about anything, I would get really good at it, but only if it actually interested me in the first place. But then I had a huge smile on my face. I knew that I wasn't a little child that was just playing on the playground. I was now the adult that was sitting on the bench because now I had a new mission. I was now becoming the best version of myself. And it wasn't like, yeah, sure, I abandoned my little child for the sense of working on my affiliate marketing business for 12 hours per day type of self improvement. No, no, no. I still let my inner child thrive. I still, for example, watch anime from time to time. I still read books from time to time. I still listen to the stories that other people tell me and then enhance my creativity by creating situations just like that. Like if they happen to me, like how would I react and stuff like that. Look, man, I know that it may be really hard for you to get over the fact that you're becoming an adult, that you need to take some kind of responsibility. And I know that it won't be easy and there will be a lot of discomfort, but you need to realize that all the pleasure that has been given to you when you were born, ever since until now, that you extracted from the instant gratification activities like video games, social media, fapping, later onwards, of course, it is catching up to you right now. And you need to compensate for that instant pleasure with progress, with improving your mental health, your physical health, by finally finding your purpose in life and aligning it to some kind of a business model that will set your and your family free forever. You need to finally start cold approaching new people so that you have finally the chance to meet your future wife and continue your bloodline. The good times have already passed by, and it is now your choice. If you want to suffer for a couple of years and see no results, but then spend the rest of your adult life just living in the sense of delayed gratification forever, or if you just continue to cope by playing video games, by watching more social media, because you no longer get the same pleasure from life that you got when you were younger, if you continue to just like put yourself in the state of trance just because life isn't working for you and you don't wish to charge into your problems head onwards, then you know what will happen to you if you don't choose to work hard on yourself right now before you're still 30 years old. If you don't wish to make risks that will benefit you greatly in the future, if you don't wish to get into self improvement and make mistakes right now whilst you still have the opportunity, then after you're 30 years old, it will be way harder for you. Because after you're 30 years old, you will actually have responsibilities. You may actually have a family with some kind of your classmate that you didn't really like, but your parents desperately wanted you to get a girlfriend. So you got her pregnant. Good job. And you now have your like own apartment, so you need to pay the bills, you need to take care of the child, and try risking then. Yeah, with the limited budget that you will have. But since you're still in the care of your parents, you have infinite possibilities. You have infinite ways of making risks that will benefit you greatly in the future. So please, don't look at the future as something bad. I know that growing up, and getting onto self improvement to become the best version of yourself is really hard. I know it is, but it is only hard for like the first couple of years, for like 2 or 3 years. After you learn all your life lessons and adopt the healthy mindsets and mend your mental health, anything is possible. All you need to do is just be a little bit patient. And you need to be okay with making mistakes. Okay? Because trust me, once you see your first dollar online, once you see that you can actually hold eye contact in your daily conversations, once you finally see your V taper the first time when that cute girl finally accepts you into her life because you cold approached her successfully after failing 99 times at cold approaching, the sense of delayed gratification that you get from that, the sense of pleasure, the feeling that you got from instant gratification activities like video games, social media, and by playing on the playground, it will be nothing compared to that sense of delayed gratification, and you will never want to go back. So, yeah, the journey isn't made to be easy, but the rewards, they are more than worth it. Think about it. If the life, if the progress to living the rest of your adult life to the fullest and to the highest of your potential was easy, if the road was really that easy, then of course the life would be really hard, right? And so, do you see the opposite forces? If you just suffer for 3 years and you get the online business that brings the financial location and time freedom, if you get the future wife, if you do bother to fix your mental health through the mindsets that I teach you in my course that is coming soon, and if you improve your physical health to your fullest extent, then your adult life will be so much easier and you won't need the toys that you used to play with on the playground. And instead, you will use the toys that you have right now for fulfillment. Your future wife, your physique, your mental health, and the online business that will fulfill you like there's no tomorrow. And so that's the reason why you don't want to become an adult. That's the reason why you're so afraid. Because you're afraid of letting go of the toys that you have right now. But you need to let go of them. And you need to start making progress so that you're worthy of wielding the toys that adults play with. Okay? If you want to become part of a community full of like minded men who share the same values as you, the same likes and dislikes, who are discussing their mental health and improving it every single day, who share the same goals as you, who are becoming the best version of themselves every single day, and who will be in a state of healthy competition with you, but at the same time, they will be like your blood bonded brothers who will give you advice anytime that you need, then you can join our Discord clan in the description and become a part of the family. I know that if you're watching videos like these and willing to take action, then I know that you have way more potential than you think you have. I know that you'll find your place in there. So please, stop being held back by the 99% of people and join us on the path to greatness. But besides that, you can like the video, you can subscribe if you like, join the email list in the description and get yourself a free ebook about mindfulness. Comment on which part of the video you liked the most and which part of the video you will implement into your daily life. Don't forget to join the clan, you're still invited, and become a part of the family. Keep your eyes peeled for something huge that is coming. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you